The scaffolding screamed. Then it fell. 20 tons of steel pipes, dropping from the 15th floor. Workers shouting. My cement bucket hit the ground, and I saw him. A man in an expensive suit, standing exactly where everything was about to crash. I had 3 seconds. If I ran, I'd survive. If I tried to save him, we'd probably both die. But my feet were already moving. The scaffolding screamed before it fell. Metal twisted against metal. Workers shouted warnings that came too late. Chidi Okafor looked up from his cement bucket just as 20 tons of steel pipes broke free from the 15th floor of the Lagos construction site. Time slowed down. His worn boots were already moving. His calloused hands dropped the bucket. Cement splashed across the red dirt. Cement. Cement. Oga, move. Chidi's voice tore through the chaos. The man in the expensive suit stood frozen below the falling death trap. His phone pressed to his ear. His Italian leather shoes planted in the danger zone. His eyes wide with the realization that came 1 second too late. Chidi didn't think. His body launched forward like a missile. His shoulder slammed into the suited man's ribs. They crashed together into the dirt, just as the scaffolding exploded where the man had been standing. Dust clouds swallowed everything. Metal clanged and bounced. Workers screamed and ran. The ground shook like an earthquake had hit Victoria Island. When the dust settled, Chidi lay on top of the stranger. His back screamed with pain. Something warm trickled down his spine. His hard hat had cracked in half. Are you okay, sir? Chidi gasped. The man beneath him stared up with shock painted across his face. His expensive suit was ruined. His phone lay shattered 3 feet away, but his eyes were alive. Breathing. Unbroken. You saved my life, the man whispered. Chidi rolled off and tried to stand. His legs wobbled, his vision blurred. The construction site foreman, Mr. Bello, came running with 5 other workers. Chidi, your back is bleeding, oh, one worker shouted. I'm fine, Chidi lied. Pain shot through his shoulder blade. Just help Oga up. They pulled the suited man to his feet. He brushed dirt from his clothes with shaking hands. His eyes never left Chidi's face. What's your name? The man asked. Chidi Okafor, sir. Just a cement mixer. Just a cement mixer who saved Adeyemi Bankoli's life. The man extended his hand. CEO of Bankoli Construction Empire. CEO. Chidi's eyes went wide. Everyone in Lagos knew that name. Bankoli Construction built half the skyscrapers in Victoria Island. The company was worth billions of naira, and Chidi had just saved the owner's life. Sir, I didn't know. It doesn't matter who I am. Adeyemi gripped Chidi's hand firmly. You risked your life for a stranger. That matters. The site supervisor rushed over, sweating and panicking. Mr. Bankoli, I'm so sorry. The safety inspector will be fired. This is unacceptable. Adeyemi raised his hand for silence. His eyes stayed locked on Chidi. This man is injured. Get him to the hospital. Now. My personal driver will take him. Sir, I can't afford. I'm paying for everything. Adeyemi's voice left no room for argument. And I want your address. Your phone number. Everything. Chidi's head spun. Not just from the pain. This kind of thing didn't happen to people like him. 2 hours later, Chidi sat in the emergency room of Lagos University Teaching Hospital. The same hospital where his daughter Amara had been admitted 3 weeks ago. The same hospital he couldn't afford. A doctor cleaned the gash on his back. 12 stitches. Bruised ribs. Sprained shoulder. Nothing permanent. You're very lucky, the doctor said. A few inches to the left, and that metal would have hit your spine. Lucky. Chidi almost laughed. He hadn't felt lucky in 2 years. Not since his wife Ngozi died giving birth to their second child. Not since baby Chioma came into the world without a mother. Not since 7-year-old Amara started getting sick with the fever that wouldn't break. His phone buzzed. A text from his neighbor, Mama Eze, who watched his daughters while he worked. Amara's fever is back. She's crying for you. When are you coming home? Chidi's chest tightened. The hospital bill for today would eat his entire month's salary. He had nothing left for Amara's medicine. Nothing for baby Chioma's formula. Nothing for rent that was already 2 weeks late. He typed back with shaking fingers. Coming soon. Give her the paracetamol. But paracetamol wasn't enough anymore. The doctor at the free clinic had been clear. Amara needed proper tests, blood work, maybe even surgery. Things that cost money Chidi would never have. Mr. Okafor? A nurse appeared with a clipboard. Your bill has been settled. Mr. Bankole's office called. Everything is paid for. 5. Chidi stared at her. Everything? Yes, sir. And they left this. She handed him a business card. Heavy cardstock. Gold lettering. Mr. Bankole wants you to call him tomorrow. Chidi held the card like it might disappear. His hands trembled. His eyes burned with tears he refused to let fall. That night, he took 2 buses back to his one-room apartment in Ajagunle, the neighborhood where dreams came to die, where zinc roofs leaked when it rained, where generator noise drowned out children's laughter. Mama Eze met him at the door. Her face was tight with worry. Amara is sleeping now. But Chidi, her fever is getting worse. You need to take her to a real hospital. I know, Mama. I know. Chidi's voice cracked. He walked into his room. 2 mattresses on the floor. One for him and Amara. One for baby Chioma. A single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A hot plate in the corner. This was home. Amara lay curled under a thin blanket. Her forehead burned when he touched it. She opened her eyes and smiled weakly. Papa. You're home. Yes, my angel. Papa is home. Did you bring medicine? Chidi's heart shattered into a million pieces. Tomorrow, baby. Tomorrow, Papa will get you the best medicine. Tomorrow. He didn't know if he was lying or telling the truth. But as he held his daughter's hot little hand, he looked at the business card on the floor beside him. Adeyemi Bankole, CEO, personal number. Maybe God had finally heard his prayers. Maybe today's accident was not an accident at all. Maybe it was destiny knocking on his door with a miracle he didn't deserve but desperately needed. Chidi closed his eyes and whispered a prayer his mother had taught him. When the road is dark, even a small light can show the way. Tomorrow, he would call that number. Tomorrow, everything might change. But tonight, he held his sick daughter and tried not to think about how close he was to losing everything. Chidi's phone rang at 6 in the morning. Unknown number. Lagos area code. His heart jumped into his throat. Hello? Mr. Okafor? This is Adeyemi Bankole. I hope I'm not calling too early. Chidi sat up so fast he woke Amara. No, sir. Not at all, sir. Good. I want to see you today. My office, Victoria Island. Can you come at 10? Chidi looked around his room. At his only good shirt hanging on a nail. At his daughter's fever-flushed face. At the empty formula tin for baby Chioma. Yes, sir. I'll be there. Excellent. My driver will pick you up. Text me your address. 1. The line went dead. Chidi stared at his phone like it had just spoken in tongues. Mama Eze poked her head through the curtain that served as his door. Who was that calling so early? The man I saved yesterday. He wants to see me. Her eyes went wide. You see? God is working. This is your breakthrough. Chidi wanted to believe her. But he'd learned not to hope too much. Hope was dangerous for poor people. Hope could break your heart worse than poverty ever could. At 9:30, a black Mercedes pulled up outside his building. Children stopped playing to stare. Neighbors came out to look. In Ajegunle, cars like that only meant 2 things: politicians or trouble. The driver opened the door. Mr. Okafor? Chidi climbed in, feeling like an imposter. The leather seats were softer than his mattress. The air conditioning made him shiver. Classical music played softly from hidden speakers. They drove through Lagos. From the chaos of Ajagunle to the organized madness of Victoria Island. From zinc roofs to glass towers. From poverty to power. In 30 minutes, Bankole Construction Headquarters rose 40 stories into the sky, all glass and steel and money. The lobby had marble floors that reflected Chidi's worn shoes. Security guards in crisp uniforms. A waterfall feature that probably cost more than Chidi would earn in his lifetime. Mr. Okafor for Mr. Bankole. The receptionist said into her headset. Her makeup was perfect. Her English was flawless. She belonged in this world. Chidi did not. The elevator climbed to the 40th floor. Executive suites, corner offices. Views of the Lagos Lagoon that made the city look almost beautiful. Adeyemi's secretary led him through double doors into an office bigger than Chidi's entire apartment building. Floor-to-ceiling windows, leather furniture, awards and photos, covering one wall. Adeyemi stood from behind a desk made of dark wood. He wore another expensive suit, but his smile was genuine. Warm. Chidi, come in, come in. He shook Chidi's hand like they were old friends. Please, sit. Coffee? Tea? Water is fine, sir. They sat in chairs that probably cost more than Chidi's yearly salary. Adeyemi leaned forward, his eyes serious. I've been thinking about yesterday all night. You didn't hesitate. You didn't calculate the risk. You just acted. Do you know how rare that is? Chidi shifted uncomfortably. Any man would have done the same, sir. No. Most men would have frozen. Or run away. Or pretended they didn't see. Adeyemi pulled out a folder. I had my people do some research. I hope you don't mind. Chidi's stomach dropped. Research, sir? You've worked construction for 8 years. Never missed a day. Never complained. Your supervisors say you're the hardest worker they've ever seen. Adeyemi opened the folder. You're also a widower. 2 daughters. One is sick. You're 3 months behind on rent. You eat 1 meal a day. So your children can eat too. Tears burned Chidi's eyes. His shame was laid out on paper for this billionaire to see. His failures. His poverty. His inability to provide for his family. Sir, Stop. Adeyemi's voice was gentle. I'm not judging you. I'm honoring you. You have every reason to be bitter, angry, desperate. But yesterday, you risked your life for a stranger. That tells me everything I need to know about your character. He slid an envelope across the desk. Open it. Chidi's hands shook as he lifted the flap. Inside was a check. His eyes couldn't process the numbers at first. Too many zeros. Impossible. 5 million naira. Sir, I can't. You can. And you will. Adeyemi's voice left no room for argument. That's for saving my life. But I'm not done. Bye. He pulled out another paper. Your daughter Amara needs medical care. I've arranged for her to see the best pediatric specialist in Lagos. Tomorrow, all expenses paid. Tests, treatment, surgery if needed. Everything. Chidi's vision blurred with tears. His chest heaved. He tried to speak, but only sobs came out. Chidi couldn't stop the tears. They poured down his face like rain. His shoulders shook. His hands covered his eyes. In this expensive office, with its leather chairs and city views, he broke down completely. My daughter, he choked out. She's been sick for so long. I've been so scared. Every night I pray she'll wake up. Every morning I'm terrified she won't. Adeyemi came around the desk. He placed a hand on Chidi's shoulder. Not like a boss, like a brother. She's going to be fine. I promise you. But why, sir? Why are you doing this? I'm nobody. Just a poor cement mixer. You're the man who saved my life. Adeyemi's voice was thick with emotion. And I'm the man who almost missed his daughter's wedding because I was too busy on a phone call. You gave me a second chance, Chidi. Let me give you one too. They sat in silence for a moment. Lagos traffic hummed 40 floors below. The air conditioning whispered. Chidi wiped his face with his rough hands. There's more, Adeyemi said quietly. He returned to his desk and pulled out another folder. I want to offer you a job. Chidi looked up, confused. A job, sir? But I already work construction for your company. Not anymore. I want you here, in this building, as my personal assistant and security coordinator. The words didn't make sense. Chidi stared at him. Sir, I don't understand. I only finished secondary school. I don't know computers. I don't know office work. You know people. You know loyalty. You know how to make split-second decisions under pressure. Adeyemi leaned forward. Those things can't be taught. The rest? We'll train you. But sir, the other workers, the educated people, they'll never respect someone like me. They'll respect results. And character. Adeyemi's eyes were firm. The salary is 400,000 naira per month. Health insurance for you and your daughters. Housing allowance. School fees covered. Chidi's head spun. 400,000. He currently made 60,000. This was impossible. Things like this didn't happen to people from Ajagunle. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Start next Monday. That gives you this week to get Amara treated. And move your family to better accommodation. Adeyemi smiled. My wife already has a list of apartments for you to look at. 2 bedrooms. Decent neighborhood. Safe for your girls. Your wife, sir? Folik. She cried when I told her your story. She's already bought clothes and toys for your daughters. She wants to meet them. Adeyemi laughed. You saved my life, Chidi. You're family now. Whether you like it or not, Chidi couldn't speak. His throat was too tight. His heart too full. He just nodded and let the tears fall again. That afternoon, Adeyemi's driver took Chidi to Lagos University Teaching Hospital. Not the crowded public section where Chidi had taken Amara before. The private wing, where the walls were painted cream instead of peeling green. Where nurses smiled instead of shouted. Where hope lived instead of died. Dr. Okonkwo was the best pediatric specialist in West Africa. She had kind eyes and gentle hands. She examined Amara for 2 hours, while Chidi held baby Chioma and prayed. Finally, Dr. Okonkwo emerged from the examination room. Her face was serious but not hopeless. Your daughter has a severe kidney infection. It's been untreated for too long. But we caught it in time. She touched Chidi's arm. She'll need to stay here for 2 weeks. IV antibiotics. Monitoring. But she's going to be fine, Mr. Okafor. She's going to be completely fine. Chidi's knees buckled. He sat down hard on the waiting room chair. Baby Chioma gurgled in his arms, unaware that her sister's life had just been saved. How much? Chidi whispered. How much will it cost? Mr. Bankole has covered everything. Don't worry about money. Just worry about being a father. That night, Chidi sat beside Amara's hospital bed. She was already looking better. Color returning to her cheeks. Fever breaking. She smiled at him with her missing front tooth showing. Papa, this bed is so soft. And look, they have a TV. Her eyes were bright with wonder. Are we rich now? Chidi laughed through his tears. No, baby, but we're blessed. Very, very blessed. Because you saved that man? Because God sent that man to save us. The next 3 days passed like a dream. Adeyemi's wife, Folak, visited the hospital with bags of gifts. Clothes for the girls. Toys. Books. She was elegant and beautiful, but her hug was warm and real. My husband told me what you did, she said. You're a hero, Chidi. A real hero. I just did what anyone would do, Ma. No. You did what a good man would do. There's a difference. She handed him a phone. This is yours. Already programmed with all our numbers. Adeyemi's. Mine. The office. The doctor. Everything you need. Oh, Chidi held the smartphone like it was made of gold. He'd never owned one before. Just his old Nokia that could only call and text. Ma, this is too much. It's not enough. It will never be enough for what you did. Her eyes were wet. You gave me more years with my husband. You gave my children More time with their father. How do you put a price on that? On Friday, Adeyemi's driver took Chidi to see apartments. The first one was in Surulere. 2 bedrooms. Clean. Safe. A real kitchen. A bathroom that worked. Windows with glass that wasn't broken. I'll take it, Chidi said immediately. Don't you want to see the others? The agent asked. No, this is perfect. This is more than perfect. That weekend, Mama Ize and other neighbors helped Chidi move. His possessions fit in 4 boxes. Everything he owned in the world. But he was moving to a place with real doors. Real walls. Ferdi. A place where his daughters could be safe. On Sunday night, with Amara still in the hospital but recovering beautifully, Chidi sat in his new apartment. Baby Chioma slept in an actual crib that Folak had bought. Not a cardboard box. Not a drawer. A real crib with soft blankets. His phone rang. Adeyemi. Chidi, I hope I'm not disturbing you. No, sir. Never, sir. Good. I wanted to remind you. Tomorrow is your first day. 8 a.m. Don't be nervous. You belong here now. Sir, I still don't understand why you're doing all this. Adeyemi was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was soft. 10 years ago, I was a poor boy from Ibadan. I had nothing. A man gave me a chance. One chance. He saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. He changed my life. What happened to him? He died 5 years ago. I never got to repay him. Never got to say thank you properly. Adeyemi's voice cracked. So I'm paying it forward. Through you. And one day, when you're successful, you'll do the same for someone else. That's how we change the world, Chidi. One life at a time. Chidi closed his eyes. Tears rolled down his cheeks again. But these were different tears. Not tears of pain or fear. Tears of gratitude. Of hope. Of a future he never thought possible. I won't let you down, sir. I promise. I know you won't. See you tomorrow. That night, Chidi couldn't sleep. He lay in his new bed, in his new apartment, and thought about the impossible week he'd just lived. 7 days ago, he was a poor cement mixer with a dying daughter and no hope. Now he had a job that paid real money, a home that was safe, a daughter who would live, all because of one moment. One choice, 1 second, where he decided to run toward danger instead of away from it. His mother used to say, "The seed you plant today becomes the tree that shades you tomorrow." Chidi had planted a seed of courage, and now he was standing in the shade of a miracle. But he didn't know that his real test was still coming. That jealousy and hatred were already plotting in the shadows. That his new life would be threatened by forces he couldn't yet see. Tomorrow, he would walk into Bankola Construction headquarters as a new man. But not everyone would be happy to see him rise. Some people hate it when the poor become powerful, and one of them was waiting. Monday morning arrived with golden sunlight and nervous energy. Chidi stood outside Bankola Construction headquarters at 7:30. His new shirt was stiff and uncomfortable. His shoes were shiny but cheap. His hands sweated as he gripped the employee ID card Adeyemi's secretary had sent over the weekend. "You can do this," he whispered to himself. "You belong here." But his reflection in the glass building told a different story. He looked like what he was. A poor man, playing dress-up in a rich man's world. The lobby was already busy with employees, men in tailored suits, women in designer dresses. Everyone moved with confidence. Everyone belonged. Except him, Mr. Okafor. Adeyemi's secretary, Mrs. Chioma, waved from the reception desk. "Welcome. Let me show you to your office." Office. Chidi had an office. The word still felt foreign in his mouth. They rode the elevator to the 38th floor. Executive level, where decisions worth millions of naira were made every day. The hallway smelled like expensive cologne and fresh coffee. "This is you." Mrs. Chioma opened a door to a small but beautiful office. Windows overlooking Lagos. A real desk. A computer. A nameplate that read, "Chidi Okafor, personal assistant to CEO." It's too much, Chidi breathed. It's exactly right. She smiled warmly. Mr. Bankole will be in at 9. Until then, I'll show you the systems. Don't worry. We'll take it slow. The next 2 hours passed in a blur of passwords and procedures. Email systems. Calendar management. Security protocols. Chidi's head spun with information. At 9 sharp, Adeyemi arrived. He stopped at Chidi's office with a huge smile. There he is. How's the first morning? Overwhelming, sir. But good. Perfect. Come. I want to introduce you to the executive team. They walked to the conference room. Through the glass walls, Chidi could see 7 people already seated. All of them looked expensive. Educated. Important. Adeyemi opened the door. Good morning, everyone. I want to introduce someone special. This is Chidi Okafor. He saved my life last week, and now he's joining our team as my personal assistant and security coordinator. The room went silent. Eyes scanned Chidi from head to toe. Some faces showed curiosity, others showed confusion. One face showed pure hatred. The man sat at the far end of the table, mid-40s, expensive suit, gold watch. His name tag read, Chief Emeka Okonkwo, Director of Operations. His eyes were cold as ice when they landed on Chidi. Security coordinator? Chief Emeka's voice dripped with contempt. With what qualifications? What degree? What experience? 1. With the qualification of courage, Adeyemi said firmly, and loyalty. 2 things that can't be bought or taught. So we're hiring heroes now instead of professionals? Chief Emeka laughed, but there was no humor in it. This is a billion-naira company, not a charity organization. The other executives shifted uncomfortably. No one spoke. The tension in the room was thick enough to cut. Chief Emeka, that's enough. Adeyemi's voice was steel wrapped in silk. Chidi is here because I want him here. If anyone has a problem with that, we can discuss it privately. Chief Emeka leaned back in his chair. His smile was dangerous. No problem at all, Oga. Welcome to the team, Mr. Okafor. I'm sure we'll work very well together. But his eyes said something completely different. They said, you don't belong here, and I'm going to make sure everyone knows it. The meeting continued, but Chidi barely heard a word. He could feel Chief Emeka's stare burning into the side of his face. Could feel the man's hatred like heat from a fire. After the meeting, a younger executive approached Chidi in the hallway. His name was Tunde. He looked sympathetic. Don't mind Chief Emeka, Tunde said quietly. He's been here 15 years. He thought he was next in line to be Oga's right-hand man. Then you showed up. I didn't ask for any of this, Chidi said. Doesn't matter. You have what he wants. Access to the boss. Trust. Respect. Tunde glanced around nervously. Just watch your back. Chief Emeka is dangerous when he feels threatened. I've seen him destroy people's careers over less. I'm just trying to do my job. Take care of my family. 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 I know. But to him, you're competition. And he doesn't lose. Tunde squeezed Chidi's shoulder. Be careful, brother. Be careful. The rest of the week proved Tunde right. Chief Emeka's attacks were subtle, but constant. In meetings, he would ask Chidi questions designed to embarrass him. What's your opinion on the quarterly profit margins, Mr. Okafor? Oh wait, you probably don't understand financial reports. He would accidentally leave Chidi out of important emails, would schedule meetings without telling him, would make jokes about construction workers playing businessman, just loud enough for others to hear. But the worst part was how other executives started treating Chidi. Some followed Chief Emeka's lead. They stopped greeting Chidi in the hallways, stopped including him in lunch plans, whispered when he walked by. Only Tunde and a few others remained friendly, but even they kept their distance when Chief Emeka was around. Fear was a powerful weapon. On Friday afternoon, Chidi was reviewing security footage in his office when his door burst open. Chief Emeka stood there with 3 other executives behind him. "Mr. Okafor, we need to talk." "Yes, sir. Please come in." Chief Emeka closed the door. His smile was sharp as a knife. "I've been reviewing the security protocols you submitted. They're inadequate, unprofessional, frankly, embarrassing." Chidi's stomach dropped. He'd worked on those protocols for 3 days. Mrs. Chioma had helped him. He thought they were good. "Sir, if there are problems, I can fix them." "Fix them? You can't fix incompetence." Chief Emeka dropped a folder on Chidi's desk. "These are the real protocols. Written by professionals. Not cement mixers pretending to be executives." The other executives laughed. Not loudly. Just enough to hurt. "I'll review them, sir." "You do that. And while you're at it, maybe review whether you actually belong in this building." Chief Emeka leaned close. His breath smelled like expensive whiskey. "You saved the boss's life. Congratulations. But that doesn't make you one of us. It never will." They left, laughing among themselves. Chidi sat alone in his office, shame burning through his chest. Maybe they were right. Maybe he was fooling himself. Maybe a poor boy from Ajegunle could never really belong in a place like this. His phone buzzed. A text from the hospital. Amara was being discharged tomorrow, fully recovered, ready to come home. Chidi closed his eyes and took a deep breath. He was doing this for her. For baby Chioma. For their future. Chief Emeka's words couldn't change that. But that evening, as Chidi was preparing to leave, he overheard a conversation in the hallway. Chief Emeka's voice carried through the thin walls. "I'm telling you, the man is a liability. He has no education, no experience. He's going to cost us a major client eventually." "Ride," another voice responded. "But Oga trusts him. We can't just..." "Oga is blinded by gratitude. It's our job to protect the company, even from Oga's mistakes." Chief Emeka's voice dropped lower. "I'm meeting with the board next week, presenting evidence of Chidi's incompetence, security breaches, protocol failures. By the time I'm done, they'll demand his removal. But what if Oga refuses? Then we go over his head. The board has power too, and they care about profits, not sob stories about poor heroes." Footsteps approached. Chidi quickly moved away from the wall, his heart pounding. He grabbed his bag and headed for the elevator, his mind racing. Chief Emeka wasn't just trying to embarrass him. He was trying to destroy him, to take away everything Adeyemi had given him, to send him back to poverty and hopelessness. On the bus ride home, Chidi stared out the window at Lagos rushing by. Street vendors, traffic, chaos. The city that chewed up dreamers and spit them out. Was he just another dreamer about to be destroyed? His phone rang. "Adeyemi, Chidi. How was your first week?" Chidi wanted to tell him everything. About Chief Emeka's cruelty, about the plot he'd overheard, about how scared he was of losing everything. But he couldn't. Adeyemi had already done so much. He couldn't burden him with office politics. Couldn't seem weak or ungrateful. "It was good, sir. Learning a lot. Excellent. Listen, next Friday we have a major gala. All our biggest clients. I want you there. By my side. Show everyone the man who saved my life." Chidi's blood ran cold. A gala. With Chief Emeka watching. Waiting for him to fail. Planning his destruction. "Yes, sir. I'll be there. Good man. See you Monday." The call ended. Chidi sat in the crowded bus, surrounded by tired workers, heading home to their own struggles. And he realized something. The real battle was just beginning. Subscribe to African Tales by Kairo for more powerful stories. The gala was held at the Eco Hotel and Suites. Crystal chandeliers hung from ceilings 3 stories high. Men wore tuxedos that cost more than cars. Women glittered in gold and diamonds. Waiters moved like ghosts carrying champagne that sparkled under the lights. Chidi stood near the entrance in his rented suit, feeling like a fraud. His bow tie was crooked. His shoes pinched his feet. Every person who walked past him belonged to a world he would never understand. Chidi. Adeyemi appeared with Folek on his arm. She wore an emerald green dress that probably cost ₦1,000,000. There you are. Come. I want you to meet some people. For the next hour, Adeyemi introduced Chidi to everyone. CEOs, ministers, foreign investors. Each time, he told the story. This is the man who saved my life. My hero. My brother. Some people smiled warmly. Others looked confused. A few looked disgusted that a poor nobody was mixing with Lagos elite. Chief Emeka watched from across the room. His wife stood beside him, dripping in jewelry. His eyes followed Chidi like a predator tracking prey. He whispered to the men around him. They laughed and glanced at Chidi with mockery in their eyes. At 8 o'clock, Adeyemi took the stage. The room fell silent. Spotlights blazed. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to our annual gala. Tonight, we celebrate another successful year for Bankole Construction. Applause rippled through the crowd. But before we discuss business, I want to share something personal. He gestured to Chidi. 2 weeks ago, I almost died. Almost died. A construction accident. Metal falling from the sky. I was seconds from death. His voice grew thick with emotion. But this man, Chidi Okafor, risked his own life to save mine. He didn't think. He didn't hesitate. He just acted. And ENSA. And any 2S2E. 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 The room turned to stare at Chidi. Hundreds of eyes. Some admiring. Some skeptical. Chief Emeka's eyes burned with pure hatred. Chidi represents everything our company stands for. Courage, integrity, selflessness. I'm honored to have him on our team. Adeyemi raised his glass. To Chidi Okafor, a true hero. To Chidi, the crowd echoed. Chidi's face burned with embarrassment and pride. He nodded, not trusting himself to speak. But then Chief Emeka stood up. His voice cut through the applause like a knife. Oga, if I may say something? Adeyemi looked surprised but nodded. Of course, Chief Emeka. Chief Emeka walked to the front of the room. His smile was poisonous. I too want to honor Mr. Okafor. His bravery is unquestionable. But I think we should also discuss his work performance. The room went silent. Adeyemi's face darkened. Chief Emeka, this is not the time. Please, Oga, let me speak. For the good of the company. Chief Emeka pulled out a tablet. You see, as Director of Operations, I've been monitoring our new security coordinator's work, and I'm afraid I've discovered some very troubling issues. Chidi's heart stopped. His hands went cold. This was it, the attack he'd been dreading. What issues? Adeyemi's voice was ice. Security breaches, protocol violations, unauthorized access to confidential files. Chief Emeka swiped through his tablet. Just last week, Mr. Okafor accessed financial records he had no clearance for. Records containing sensitive client information. Gasps rippled through the crowd. People whispered. Chidi felt the room turning against him. That's not true. Chidi's voice cracked. I never accessed anything unauthorized. I never accessed anything. I never accessed anything. Really? Chief Emeka's smile widened. Then how do you explain these login records? Your ID. Your password. Accessing level 5 financial databases at 11 p.m. last Thursday. He projected the screen onto the wall behind him. There it was. Chidi's employee ID. Timestamps. File names. Evidence that looked absolutely damning. I didn't do that. I wasn't even in the office Thursday night. I was at the hospital with my daughter. Can anyone verify that? Chief Emeka asked innocently. Any witnesses? Quote. Chidi's mind raced. He'd been alone with Amara. The nurses had been busy. He had no proof. This is ridiculous, Adeyemi said firmly. Chidi would never. Oga, I know he's your friend, but friendship cannot blind us to facts. Chief Emeka's voice was smooth as oil. We have a responsibility to our clients, to our investors. We cannot allow sentiment to compromise security. Other executives nodded. Murmurs of agreement spread through the crowd. Chidi watched his new life crumbling before his eyes. I think Mr. Okafor should be suspended pending investigation, Chief Emeka continued, for the good of the company. I'm sure you understand, Oga. Adeyemi looked torn, angry, confused. He looked at Chidi with questions in his eyes. Sir, I swear on my daughter's lives, I didn't do this, Chidi said desperately. Someone is setting me up. Of course you'd say that, Chief Emeka laughed. Criminals always claim innocence. Enough! Adeyemi's voice thundered through the ballroom. This discussion is over. We'll investigate privately. Not here. Not now. But the damage was done. Chidi could see it in people's faces. The doubt. The suspicion. The rich man's poor friend was probably a thief after all. How predictable. Chief Emeka returned to his seat, satisfaction gleaming in his eyes. He'd won. He'd destroyed Chidi in front of everyone who mattered. The gala continued, but the joy was gone. People avoided Chidi. Conversations stopped when he approached. He was toxic now, contaminated by scandal. At 10 o'clock, Chidi escaped to the hotel balcony. Lago stretched out below him. Millions of lights. Millions of people. All of them living lives that made sense. Mr. Chidi? He turned. Tunde stood in the doorway, looking nervous. I'm sorry about what happened in there. Chief Emeka is a wicked man. He won, Tunde. He destroyed me. Maybe not. Tunde glanced behind him, then moved closer. I need to tell you something. But you have to promise not to say where you heard it. Bah. What is it? Chief Emeka has been stealing from the company for years. Small amounts, fake vendor invoices, ghost employees on payroll. He's been very careful. Very clever. Chidi's eyes widened. How do you know? Because I'm the accountant who processes the payments. I've suspected for months, but I had no proof, and I was too scared to say anything. Tunde pulled out a flash drive. But last week, I started copying files, building evidence. I was going to report him anonymously. Why are you telling me this? Because those financial files he accused you of accessing? Those are the exact files that contain evidence of his theft. Tunde pressed the flash drive into Chidi's hand. He set you up to discredit you before you could discover his crimes. But he made a mistake. What mistake? The login records he showed tonight? I checked them. They were accessed from Chief Emeka's office computer. Not yours. He faked the logs using your credentials. Tunde's hands shook. It's all on this drive. The fake invoices, the ghost employees, the falsified login records, everything. Chidi stared at the tiny device in his palm. Evidence. Proof. Justice. Why are you giving this to me? Why not go to Oga yourself? Because I have a wife, children, a mortgage. If I accuse Chief Emeka and fail, he'll destroy me. Tunde's voice broke. But you're already a hero. People will listen to you, and you have nothing left to lose. He was right. Chidi had already been publicly humiliated, already branded a thief. He had nothing to fear anymore. Thank you, Tunde. You're a brave man. No. You're the brave one. I'm just tired of watching evil win. Tunde disappeared back into the gala. Chidi stood on the balcony, gripping the flash drive. His heart pounded. His mind raced. This was it. His chance to fight back. To expose the real criminal. But if he was wrong, if the evidence wasn't enough, Chief Emeka would crush him completely, would take away his job, his apartment, his daughter's future, everything. His phone buzzed. A text from Mama Eze, who was watching the girls. A photo of Amara and baby Chioma, sleeping peacefully in their new beds. Safe. Healthy. Happy. Chidi thought about his mother's words. When you stand for truth, God stands with you. He walked back into the gala. Straight to Adeyemi. who was talking with a group of investors. Chief Emeka stood nearby, still smiling. His victory smile. "Sir, I need to speak with you. Privately. Right now." Adeyemi saw something in Chidi's eyes. Something fierce, determined. "Excuse me, gentlemen." They walked to a private room. Chidi handed him the flash drive. "Everything you need to know is on here. Chief Emeka has been stealing from you for years, and he framed me tonight to cover his tracks." Adeyemi's face went hard as stone. "You're sure about this? Check it yourself, sir. The evidence doesn't lie." Adeyemi plugged the drive into his laptop. His eyes scanned files, spreadsheets, bank records. With each document, his jaw tightened. His hands clenched into fists. "That bastard," he whispered. "That lying, thieving bastard." He looked at Chidi with fire in his eyes. "Come with me. It's time to end this." They walked back into the ballroom together. Two men united by truth, ready for war. The ballroom fell silent as Adeyemi and Chidi walked to the center of the room. Every conversation stopped. Every champagne glass paused mid-air. The DJ cut the music. 300 pairs of eyes turned to watch. Chief Emeka's smile faltered. Something in Adeyemi's face made his confidence crack. "Ladies and gentlemen," Adeyemi's voice was cold steel. "I apologize for interrupting the festivities, but we have urgent business to address. Business that cannot wait." He gestured to the projection screen. Chief Emeka accused Chidi Okafor of stealing company secrets tonight. He presented evidence. Login records. Access violations. Very convincing. Chief Emeka relaxed slightly. He thought Adeyemi was about to fire Chidi publicly. His smile returned. "But I've just reviewed additional evidence," Adeyemi continued. "Evidence that tells a very different story." The smile died on Chief Emeka's face. Adeyemi plugged in the flash drive. The screen lit up with spreadsheets, bank transfers, fake invoices. Years of theft laid bare for everyone to see. For 5 years, Chief Emeka Okonkwo has been stealing from this company. Ghost employees who don't exist. Vendor payments to fake companies. Small amounts. Careful amounts. Amounts he thought no one would notice. Gasps erupted through the crowd. People turned to stare at Chief Emeka. His face had gone gray. That's fabricated," Chief Emeka sputtered. "Someone is trying to frame me." "Shit. Really?" Adeyemi's voice was ice. "Then explain this." He clicked to another document. The falsified login records from earlier. But this time, the metadata was visible. The digital fingerprints showing where they'd really come from. "These records you showed tonight? The ones supposedly proving Chidi accessed confidential files? They were created on your office computer, using your IP address. At 3 p.m. this afternoon, the room exploded with whispers. Shock rippled through the crowd like electricity. "You framed an innocent man," Adeyemi continued, his voice rising. "You stood in front of everyone and lied. Why? Because Chidi was getting close to discovering your crimes. Because you needed to discredit him before he could expose you." Chief Emeka's wife stood up, her face twisted with shame. She grabbed her purse and rushed toward the exit, unable to face the humiliation. "Oga, please." Chief Emeka's voice cracked. "Let me explain. It's not what it looks like. It's exactly what it looks like." Adeyemi's eyes blazed with fury. "You're a thief, a liar, and a coward who tried to destroy a good man. To save yourself." Chief Emeka looked around desperately. At the executives who'd laughed with him earlier. At the board members who'd trusted him. Every face showed disgust. Betrayal. "Security," Adeyemi called. 2 uniformed guards appeared. They weren't gentle as they gripped Chief Emeka's arms. "Wait, you can't do this. I have rights. I'll sue." You'll do nothing," Adeyemi said quietly. "The police are already on their way. You can explain everything to them." So, as the guards dragged Chief Emeka toward the exit, he locked eyes with Chidi. Pure hatred burned there. But also something else. Fear. The fear of a man who'd finally been caught. "This is your fault," Chief Emeka hissed as he passed. "You should have stayed in the gutter where you belong." "No," Chidi said calmly. "I belong exactly where I am, and you belong exactly where you're going." The guards hauled Chief Emeka out. His shouts echoed through the lobby until the doors closed behind him. Then silence fell over the ballroom, like a blanket. Adeyemi turned to face the crowd. "I apologize for the drama tonight, but I want everyone here to witness something important, to see what real character looks like." He placed his hand on Chidi's shoulder. This man was publicly humiliated tonight, accused of crimes he didn't commit. His reputation was attacked by someone he trusted. But instead of running away, instead of accepting defeat, he found the truth. He fought back with evidence and courage. Adeyemi's voice grew stronger. "Chidi Okafor is exactly the kind of person I want representing this company. Not because he saved my life, but because he has something that can't be bought or taught. Integrity, honor, the courage to stand for what's right even when the whole world is against him." He raised his glass. "Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the real hero of tonight. Chidi Okafor." This time the applause was different. Not polite, not obligatory, real, thunderous. People stood. They cheered. Some wiped tears from their eyes. Tunde appeared beside Chidi, grinning widely. "You did it, brother. You actually did it." "We did it," Chidi corrected. "I couldn't have done this without you. Maybe. But you were the one brave enough to use the evidence. I was too scared." Tunde squeezed his shoulder. "You're a better man than me." "No, just a desperate one with nothing left to lose." The rest of the night passed in a blur of congratulations. People who'd avoided Chidi earlier now wanted to shake his hand, to hear his story, to be associated with the man who'd brought down Chief Emeka. At midnight, Adeyemi found Chidi on the balcony again, the same spot where Tunde had given him the flash drive hours earlier. "How are you feeling?" Adeyemi asked. "Tired. Scared. Relieved." Chidi laughed weakly. "I still can't believe it's over." "It's not over. It's just beginning." Adeyemi leaned against the railing. "Chief Emeka stole over 40 million naira. The police will prosecute. There will be trials. Media attention. You'll have to testify." "I know. Are you ready for that?" Chidi thought about his daughters sleeping safely in their new home, about Amara's healthy smile, about baby Chioma's future. "Yes, sir. I'm ready." "Good, because I need you more than ever now. Chief Emeka's position is vacant. I need someone I can trust absolutely. Someone who won't be corrupted by power or money." Adeyemi turned to face him. "I'm promoting you to Director of Security and Ethics. Double your current salary. Full executive benefits." "None." Chidi's legs went weak. "Sir, I'm not qualified." "You're the most qualified person I know. You proved that tonight." Adeyemi smiled. "Besides, we'll get you proper training. Business courses, management seminars, everything you need to succeed." "Why, sir?" "Why do you keep giving me chances?" "Because someone once gave me a chance when I didn't deserve it. And now I'm watching you become the man you were always meant to be." Adeyemi's eyes were wet. "That's the greatest gift anyone can give. The gift of belief." 3 months later, Chidi sat in his new office on the 40th floor, Director of Security and Ethics. The nameplate still made him smile. His daughters visited every Saturday. Amara would run through the halls, healthy and laughing. Baby Chioma was walking now, exploring everything with curious hands. Tunde had been promoted too. Senior accountant. No longer afraid. No longer hiding. Chief Emeka was in prison, awaiting trial. His wife had divorced him. His mansion was being sold to pay restitution. Everything he'd built on lies had crumbled to dust. But Chidi didn't celebrate his enemy's downfall. He just felt sad. Sad that a man with so much had thrown it all away for greed. One evening, as Chidi was preparing to leave, a young security guard knocked on his door. Nervous. Poor. wearing a uniform that didn't quite fit. "Sir, I'm sorry to bother you, but I wanted to thank you." "Thank me? For what?" "For showing people like me that we can rise. That being poor doesn't mean staying poor. That courage and honesty matter more than money or education." The young man's eyes shone with hope. "You're my hero, sir." Chidi felt tears prick his eyes. He remembered standing in this same building months ago, feeling like he didn't belong, feeling like the world was designed to keep people like him down. "What's your name?" Chidi asked. "Emeka, sir." "Emeka Obi." Chidi smiled at the irony. Another Emeka. But this one was different. This one had hope, instead of hatred in his eyes. "Emeka, let me tell you something my mother taught me. The seed you plant today becomes the tree that shades you tomorrow." Chidi stood and shook the young man's hand. "Plant good seeds. Work hard. Stay honest. And when your chance comes, and it will come, be ready to grab it." "Yes, sir." "I will, sir." As the young guard left, Chidi looked out his window at Lagos, the city that had tried to break him, the city that had tested him, the city that had ultimately transformed him. He thought about the journey. From cement mixer to executive. From poverty to purpose. From nobody to somebody. But the title didn't matter. The money didn't matter. What mattered was this. He'd stayed true to himself. He'd chosen courage over comfort. Truth over safety. And in doing so, he'd not only saved his own life, he'd shown others that change was possible. His phone buzzed. A text from Adeyemi. "Board meeting tomorrow. Big announcement. Be ready." Chidi smiled. Whatever came next, he was ready. Because he'd learned the most important lesson of all. Your past doesn't define your future. Your choices do. Success isn't about where you start, it's about the choices you make along the way. Chidi could have walked past Adeyemi that day. He could have stayed silent when Chief Emeka attacked him. He could have run away when the evidence seemed overwhelming, but he didn't. He chose courage. He chose integrity. He chose to fight for truth, even when the world told him to give up. And that's the real secret to rising above your circumstances. One brave choice can change everything. But only if you're willing to stand firm when tested. The world will always have people like Chief Emeka, people who use power to crush others, who lie to protect themselves, who believe success means keeping others down. But the world also needs people like Chidi, people who rise not by stepping on others, but by lifting themselves through honest work and moral courage. Your breakthrough isn't just about getting opportunities. It's about being ready when they come and staying worthy after they arrive. Have you ever faced a Chief Emeka in your life? Someone who tried to destroy you because you threatened their power? Someone who used lies and manipulation to keep you down? Share your story in the comments below. How did you fight back? What did you learn? Your experience might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you're currently facing your own battle, if you're the underdog fighting against impossible odds, remember Chidi's journey. Remember that truth is more powerful than lies. That courage is more valuable than comfort. That one person standing for what's right can change everything. Don't give up. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Hit that like button if this story inspired you. Subscribe to African Tales by Kairo for more powerful stories that teach, inspire, and transform.